Hey YouTube, it's A65 with yet another top 10. Everybody needs a hobby, even famous people. After all, you can't just do one thing that earns them millions upon millions of dollars day on and day out. Without some variety to keep their lives interesting, some celebrities have turned their hobbies into legitimately respectable second careers. Keyword, some. Other times, they take part in something so absurd and pointless that you have to stop and wonder why they even bothered. Not everybody can do everything, and these people obviously need a good assistant to remind them of that. Can you guess what it is? It's a top 10 bafflingly dumb celebrity side projects. So we kick off this top 10 with number 10, Jada Pinkett Smith fronts a new metal band. Yes, Will Smith's wife, a pleasant woman and if ever there was one, started up a new metal band back in 2002 called Wicked Wisdom. Between this, her husband commanding you to nod your head like it's a real dance move, and their daughter whipping her hair back and forth. We have to wonder if Jazzy Jeff would have been better choice for ultra famous family man. Luckily for her, new metal and you, that's not, yeah. It's a kind of music that almost anybody can make. The chords are sludgy and down-tuned to the point where one finger is all you need to play most of them. The solos are virtually non-existent. The rapping is a little more than talking, and singing off key is basically expected. All of it Mrs. Smith, or Jada Corian as she calls herself on stage, to fool the one or two people who didn't know who she was an expert on. Prepare yourself for the absolute best Wicked Wisdom had to offer, and then weep for your poor unfortunate eardrums. Continuing on is number 9, Shaq Versus. Welcome to the twisted psyche of Shaquille O'Neal, where everybody loves him so much they are willing to watch him do anything. It's not enough to watch him play basketball, or badly act, or badly rap. No, we want to see him do every job on the planet, or at least the glorious ones. Nobody wants to see Shaq clean up raw sewage or repave a sidewalk, least of all Shaq. And so he created Shaq Versus, where he competes with various celebrities to see if he can do their job better than they. He has cooked with Rachel Ray, sung with Justin Bieber, performed magic with Penn and Teller, and told jokes with Jimmy Kimmel, and he has failed every time. Seriously, the only time he won was when he golfed with Charles Barkley and bested the Nathan's Hot Dog champion in a competitive eating contest. And even then, he won by one stroke and one hot dog. So Shaq can kind of play golf and kind of eat a lot, and that's it. No wonder he's retired. Number 8, Hulk Hogan opens up an Italian restaurant. Train, say your prayers, and eat your spaghetti. Yes, in the mid-90s, Hulk Hogan decided bad wrestling and bad movies weren't enough for his legacy. No, he had to include bad Italian food too. And so he started Pasta Mania, a fast food pasta joint in the Mall of America. Olive Garden it was not, as most of the dishes were little more than Chef Boyardee products, only insanely overpriced and featuring appetizing names like Hulkies and Hulkaroos. Within a year, the restaurant was gone, meaning diners who were in the mood for beefaroni and SpaghettiOs had to go back to the store, buy it in the can, and then scoop it out all by themselves instead of having a failed prep cook making minimum wage to do it for them. It was good while it lasted. In retrospect, Hogan's biggest mistake was not trademarking the name. A Singapore chain of restaurants also called Pasta Mania opened up in 1988 and is doing well to this very day, all without giving Hulk Hogan one single dime. Oh, the humanity. Number 7, Madonna writes children's books. Now, to be fair, Madonna has actually made money off of these books, and people seem to like them. Her first, The English Roses, is the fastest selling children's book of all time. But then again, people like a lot of crap Madonna puts out, simply because she's Madonna. Remember, her butchering of American Pie was a major hit. The fact that anybody allowed her to continue writing children's stories after Rose is a proof rich people can get away with just about everything. The plot concerns a lonely schoolgirl whom all the other girls are jealous of because they think she has a perfect life and is filthy rich. She isn't, but she somehow manages to convince everybody she is, even though she totally isn't and doesn't want people to think she is. Yet, She dresses and apparently acts the part, so the misconception is her fault. And it's not like she ever goes out of her way to prove herself. It takes a damn fairy godmother to set the other girls straight. And so, Madonna moral of the story, pretty girls are people too. And shame on you for needing magic to realize that. Number 6, Michael Jordan sells cologne. If there's one thing Jordan was good at, besides basketball, it was slapping his name on every product imaginable. Batteries, underwear, hot dogs, you name it. His airiness endorsed it, but sometimes existing products were good enough to capture his essence, so he had to create his own. Behold the Michael Jordan cologne, the only Jordan-related decision worse than his minor league baseball career. We all wanted to smell good, and those of us who grew up following Jordan's Hall of Fame career wanted to be like Mike. But those two did not mesh together. Why? Because sweaty people generally do not smell good. Jordan was very sweaty, but he could get away with it, being an ultra-famous athlete and all. The rest of us smelling like him did not land very many job offers or dates. Amazingly, you can still buy Jordan cologne if you absolutely have to. Just don't expect to be taken seriously. You're better off buying Donald Trump's cologne. At least he works in a clean, fresh, air-conditioned office. Number 5, Gwyneth Paltrow starts Goop.com. Gwyneth Paltrow leads an amazing, super fortunate life and wants to teach you how she does it. That's the basis of Goop, a lifestyle launched by Mrs. Paltrow back in 2008. She dishes out some unsolicited advice on all faces of perfect life, such as fitness, fine dining, home organization, making unwatchable movies, and finding the very best pieces of fruit to name your children after. Many people have labeled the site as list, because who asked the girl in the fat suit from Shallow Hell what she was thinking about? Her response was that people who critique her don't get it. Well, she sure convinced me. Now all she has to do is tell us why she chose the name, GP or her initials, but where did the two O's come from? And why was a beautiful lifestyle site named after the slimy green crap kids used to make creepy crawlers? Bruce Willis sings and sells the blues. That's number 4. When you think of having the blues, what comes to mind? Money woes, your spouse leaving you, your dog running away, your latest box office blockbuster only making $75 million at the box office. Bruce Willis feels your pain, at least on the last part. That's why in the late 80s he released a blues album, The Return of Bruno. Bruno was a character he played in a bad movie you have never seen, who sang covers that inspired you to listen to the original 100 times over, simply to dull the pain. 2 years later he released a second album so bad Wikipedia doesn't even bother to link it, followed by a classics collection 12 years later. Not bad for a guy with a couple hits he didn't write. The only thing with more padding than a Bruce Willis classics collection is the rubber room they presumably stuck him in after he recorded his wreck. Number 3, Paris Hilton hair extensions. Because when we want to find the perfect bit of fake hair, we trust somebody who just turned 30 and has all her hair. That didn't stop Ms. Hilton from releasing her own line of hair extensions a few years ago, which were apparently so bad she didn't ever use them. She was sued by the company manufacturing said fake hair because she didn't want them on TV like she was supposed to, and said she used other companies' fake hair, and as we all know, if you wear the wrong kind of artificial clip-on hair, you're just gonna look silly. To be fair, she probably did not do this maliciously and knowingly. More likely, she was just being her typical moronic self and just couldn't tell one bit of fake hair from the other. Though she was curious why some of the packages had her picture on the package. She probably could ask her attorney about that. Garth Brooks becomes Chris Gaines. Previously in this article, Bruce Willis filmed a movie and then covered a bunch of songs in the style of his character. Well, Garth Brooks decided to up the ante about a decade later by changing his look, changing his name, writing a bunch of songs under that new name and releasing a greatest hits by that new name, all to hype a movie that never got made. Garth went all out when creating Chris Gaines, forging an elaborate backstory complete with past albums and former bands, all in anticipation of Gaines' big comeback tour that would be focused on the autobiographical movie The Lamb. Of course, the movie was cancelled in production, which is what happens when everybody who hears about the idea and then sees Garth dressed as Gaines starts laughing their asses off and never ever stops. A select few are still laughing to this day. Oh, and the music. It's exactly what Garth Brooks playing mid-tempo 1990s adult alternative rock should sound like, meaning not interested or inspired in the least. So maybe he didn't go all out after all. Shockingly, Gaines hasn't released his album since. Sadly, Brooks has released many. And the moment you have all been waiting for, number one, the 50 Cent creates the perfect condom. No, it's not a condom that costs 50 cents and is probably made out of wet toilet paper. No, this is the ultimate condom, envisioned and overseen by the greatest rapper ever named after chump change, 50 Cent. Called Magic Stick, they were supposed to be everything a guy could want in a condom. Two problems. First, most guys would say the perfect condom isn't one that is the one that isn't there. No man gets excited about wearing a condom, even there is a top hat on the box. Second, they failed. According to man himself, I wanted things in it that wouldn't work. So the entire line is cancelled. Nobody knows what exactly he wanted in there. A flowery scent, a built-in penis enlarger, tiny MP3 players that plays Candy Shop every time you get down to business. So many unanswered questions. It's probably best these condoms didn't work out though. The guy designing them has been shot at least 9 times. What does he know about dodging bullets? And that has been it for me tonight. I hope you have enjoyed yourself and see you next time.